Go and check my sound. I didn't check my sound yesterday. Okay, the sound is turned way too low. Now it's up good. And just go over to YouTube and see if I am live. And here we go. And we're looking at the gold chart, the 15-minute chart, XAU USD. Asian Pacific market just opened about 12 minutes ago. That's 8 o'clock a.m. Indochina time. That's in Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Southeast Asia. And look, oh my goodness. Now I'm back. If I can just get my screen shared. There we go. Okay, what a way to start off the new year with my live YouTube. Sometimes my internet goes a bit wacky here in my condo. You guys that follow me last year, you're used to that. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. I have to reboot everything. You got a couple people watching. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Always like to know where you're from. If you're in the States or Latin America, Southeast Asia, Australia. So gold is trading at 44.56. We had a pretty strong downward move yesterday. You can see here all day yesterday, very bearish until the US market opened. And then it went up, had a good bullish run, and then it went sideways. And we're starting off today. Asian Pacific generally will just accumulate, be an accumulation period. Not really big candles necessarily, but in the Asian market, that's when I trade the trend line strategy, which I have here. And this 15-minute candle is finished, so I just adjust my trend lines. and that means that if it breaks above the red line, the downward trend line, then I go long. If it breaks below the upward green trend line, then I go short. But it would not take a trade if it did that right now because what will happen here, let's say it's gonna break the green upward trend line and I go short, then my stop loss is up here above the red safety line, it would be called. It would be 40.67, and that is a $24 stop loss, 240 pips. Way too much of a stop loss. I risk 0.5% on my trade, no more than 1%, so that would be much too much of a stop loss. So I would not take this trade even if it went up or it went down and broke on this candle, if it broke either way. I'm waiting for it to consolidate sideways, go to get me a little bit better risk management profile. And so that means that we just wait, which is what we as traders spend 99% of our time doing, is waiting. And it looks like my YouTube has frozen up. I hope I'm still connected here. Maybe it was just on my end. So not doing too much. Had a 45 minutes move down. Looked like it was going to continue down, but now it started to make its way back up. So what would I do if it broke above the red trend line? I just let it go. It's more of a risk than I would be willing to take on this trade. One point I will bring out to you, if you just tuned in, if you weren't watching these candles, before the market opened, I had my trend line was right there, okay, before these candles formed. So this one broke the downward trend line, the upward trend line. It broke the upward trend line, so this looked like a short signal. And wow, it was coming down here as a big red candle. Started here, here, a big red candle, and you think, "Oh, I wanna go short, jump in on this." But that's where you have to be patient, let the candle finish. Look how far down that came, all the way down here. And I was getting excited thinking, "Oh, I need to go short, go short." But I know my strategy means I wait till the candle closes. And you see what happened, this candle, it turned right around just when I was would have been thinking about pull the trigger and go short. It turned around, went back up, and I would be in a huge loss already right now. So that's why patience pays off. Wait till the candle finishes. A candle can change direction before it finishes, and this one did absolutely that. And that's, one of the steps one of the steps that I use in my trading is, yeah, I told you already, it needs to break one of these trend lines, but it needs to be on the candle close, not just touch it and go above and, come back down or look like it might keep going. Wait till the candle closes, and then that's when I make my decision to take the trade or not take the trade. And normally I would take the trade, but as I say, this one would be too far away with the stop loss. I'd have about a $25 stop loss, 250 pips. That's way too much. 100 pips is okay, but not 250 pips. Way too much. Well, my YouTube keeps going in and out. I don't know. No, I don't trade silver. Is that, joke on? Joke on in official, 6324. No, I don't trade silver. I used to trade silver a few years ago, quite a few years ago, actually, but I didn't like the volatility, and I haven't looked at that again recently. I am looking at adding, US oil this year. Last year, I only traded gold. In 2025, I only traded gold. I only traded one asset. But this year, 2026, I'm looking at trading, crude oil. So I might add oil to my profile, and I need to adjust the trend line on this one here. This is, from yet put that one up there. Should have a green trend line somewhere here. Oh, there it is. Just reset that chart, and I can go ahead and come in a little bit steeper here, I think. No, maybe not. Yeah, I can come in a little bit steeper there with that one. Find my trend line, my ray tool. This is my point B here. It comes over, and I've got a touch point right there. I can even come a little steeper on that one and see where we touch. Oh, over here. Okay. Now, oil would be a good trade. I don't like to trade oil in the Asian market, though. It sometimes it'll move, but not very often. It made a big move yesterday in the Asian market, but and it's quite volatile right now with all this war nonsense going on, you know. But I like to trade it during the London. That's when I have been looking back and doing some backtesting and seeing the moves on oil. Go back to the gold market. Yeah. Where are you watching from, Jokin? I don't think I've seen you here before. In fact, I don't think I do have silver on my chart. Yeah. I was thinking about looking at that. We can just open that chart right quick. I don't think I've got any trend lines on it though. Yeah. Yeah, silver's been making a huge move, eh? Got up to, what was it, $82. I believe that's the all-time high there, yeah. Since that's the all-time high, I can put a trend line on that one from right there down to that one comes there, and that should be a red color. Ow, didn't mean to make that one. And we'll make that red color, and I could come in a little bit steeper there on that. Let's go to my B right there, point A, point B. Come in a little bit steeper there. Yeah, but I need to go back. I can't put my green upward trend line in here anywhere because I do a top-down analysis. So I need to go back to the monthly chart, then the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, till I get down to the 15-minute chart. I can do this one because this is the all-time high, I believe. Yeah, that's the all-time silver. So I can put the downward trend line, but I can't put a trend line under that. But I'll do that later. But I'm not trading silver. I don't think I'll look at trading silver. I wanna trade crude oil. I think that one has some good potential. It does trend very well. So we got a couple people watching. Last year, I had up to about 10 people watching at one time and then getting about 40 views, people looking at the recording. So I hope to build this up. I will be here every day in the Asian market, and I generally open the YouTube at 8 a.m. Indo-China time. That's Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. In Southeast Asia, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern New York time. And then I'll also be doing the New York sessions. Last year I didn't do New York sessions, but this year I will be doing the New York sessions. So that will be 8 p.m. Actually, I come in about just before Wall Street opens. Wall Street opens at 9:30 p.m. Indo-China time, Southeast Asia. So it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern New York time, Eastern Standard Time. So I'll come in about 9:15 a.m. or p.m. depending on where you live on the New York sessions. And I did that last night. For me, it was last night, and I'll do that. Be doing that every day. I'll be doing it again today, and we might just look over and see if we have any news. And here we are on forexfactory.com, and there's a little bit of news today, not too much. Something on the Swiss franc just before London opens during the Europe session, and then in the U.S. session we have the unemployment claims. That's every Thursday, actually, and they're projected to be quite a bit higher than the forecast is higher than the previous. So we'll see how that works out when that data is released. And tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is Friday is a big day. Okay, we got the little bit in the on the Canadian currency. That's the employment change, unemployment rate, and then we've got a lot on the U.S. dollar. Okay, that's at 8:30 p.m. in Southeast Asia. That's the average hourly earnings, the non-farm employment, which has typically been the first Friday of every month. Of course, January the 2nd was a holiday, so they didn't release it last week. But that's always a good one. That's the most highly watched news item for Forex traders, non-farm employment change. Forecast to be just a little bit higher than it was the previous one. So we'll see what that one turns out to be tomorrow. And then the unemployment rate, and then a little bit later, hour and a half later, then we've got some the consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So big news day tomorrow. Lots of high impact news tomorrow. So if you've got any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment. I'm here to answer questions. If you want to understand my strategy that I use, which I've been using all of last year, the end of 2024 and all of 2025, and I'll keep using it this year, especially in the Asian Pacific market and also in the London market. It's a trend line strategy on the 15-minute chart. I have been looking at going to the 1 hour chart, but haven't done that yet. Let's see if I can go to my 1 hour chart. Put them both on the screen. that open it up. And okay, here we are on the 1-hour chart, and I'm looking at shifting over to that, and I just need to adjust my trend lines a little bit, and I can come in a little bit steeper with my downward trend line. Okay, and it works the same on whatever time frame you're using, it works the same. It goes above the red line, you go long, breaks below the green line, you go short. But that means you would take fewer trades on the bigger time frame, and you would likely have a larger stop loss, increase your risk slightly. Some people trade this on the 4-hour chart, but I've been trading typically all last year on the 15-minute chart, and that's where we are now. I hope this is coming through okay, that the internet connection is all right. It's looking a bit fuzzy on my own YouTube. Let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear and seeing everything okay. All right, I'm not gonna stay here very long because this is not turning out to be, any kind of a trade setup for me today. It's gonna have to play out for another good hour at least before it gets over here in this area where I would have a little bit better risk management, uh, placement on it. If it broke down or it broke above, then that would be too much of a stop loss for me. So I'll wait till it gets over here a little bit better. If it breaks over here below the green line, I go short and I put my stop loss just above the red line, the safety line, and that's a very reasonable stop loss. Between 0.5% and 1% is all that I risk on a trade. But over here in this area here, if this breaks below the green trend line there, then that would be 44.44. Stop loss up at 44.67. A $23 stop loss, 230 pips, way too much. And that's the way I work this strategy. It breaks below, I go, breaks above, I go, and then the stop loss is below the opposite trend line, whichever way it's whichever direction it's heading. So that's it for me, guys, for this one. It's a short one. Sometimes I stay here for an hour, hour and a half, but as I see no trade set up, I'm gonna go ahead and close out for now. And as I said, I'll be back in the New York session. That's at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9:30 p.m. Indochina time. So I hope you'll join me then if you can. And if you want, I'll be here again tomorrow during the Asian session at this same time now. Have a great day wherever you are in the world and have successful trading if you're trading today. Okay, see you again next time.